Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson on integers. Today we will learn about multiplication and division of integers. Let's begin with multiplication. So multiplication of integers of same sign. Now what happens when we multiply two integers having the same sign? When we multiply two integers of the same sign, the result is a positive integer. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Let's multiply positive 5 with positive 6. So what happens when we multiply a positive integer by another positive integer? The result is a positive integer. So what are we going to do is, first we will take the absolute value of these integers and multiply them. So absolute value of 5 multiplied by absolute value of 6, and the result will be a positive integer, so we'll put a positive sign in front. Then what is the absolute value of positive 5? 5, and absolute value of positive 6? 6. 6 times 5 will give us 30. So the answer will be positive 30, or simply we can say 30. Now it is not compulsory to show that you are finding the absolute value of positive 5 and positive 6 or any integer. You can skip the step and directly multiply the absolute value of positive 5 by the absolute value of positive 6 and get the result. So when we multiply two integers of the same sign, the result is a positive integer. So here in this case we had the positive integer multiplied by a positive integer. Let's look at another example where we will multiply negative integer by another negative integer. Let's multiply negative 3 with negative 7. So what will we do first? Find the absolute value and then absolute value of positive 7 and negative 7, and we'll multiply. And what is the sign that will be common when we multiply two integers of the same sign? The result is a positive integer, so we'll put a positive sign. And then absolute value of negative 3 is 3, absolute value of negative 7 is 7. 7 3 is a 21, so it is plus 21, a positive 21, which will result in 21. So this was the case when we multiply two integers having the same sign, and the result will be a positive integer. Now we'll look at a case where we'll multiply integers of opposite sign. So multiplication of integers having opposite signs. So what happens when we multiply two integers of opposite sign? So when we multiply two integers of opposite signs, the result is a negative integer. So unlike the previous case where we multiplied two integers of the same sign, it resulted into a positive integer. But when we multiply two integers with opposite signs, the result is a negative integer. Let's understand this with the help of an example. So let's take for example negative 2 multiplied by positive 3. So here the signs of the integer are opposite, not the same. So here also we'll apply the same method. We'll first find the absolute value of the two integers and then multiply them. So absolute value of 2 and absolute value of 3. And what will be the resulting sign? When two opposite signs are multiplied, the result is a negative integer. So we'll put a negative sign. And then what is the absolute value of negative 2? 2. And absolute value of positive 3? 3. Now again remember, you may skip this step. You no need to show that you are finding the absolute value. You can directly find the absolute value and multiply. So the result will be 2 times 3 will give us 6. So negative 6. Is it clear? Okay, next example. So example 2. Positive 8 times negative 5. So here we have positive 8 and negative 5. Both are opposite signs, both the integers. So let's find the absolute value. So absolute value of positive 8, and we'll find the absolute value of negative 5. And when we multiply, the result will be a negative integer. So we'll put a negative sign. So the absolute value of positive 8 is 8 and absolute value of negative 5 is 5. The result will be 5 8s are 40, and we'll add the negative sign. The result will be negative 40. So I hope you are clear with the multiplication of integers with that have same and opposite signs. But what will you do when you have to multiply two or more integers? So let's take an example. 7 multiplied by negative 9 into 13 into negative 25 into 16 into positive 8. So here you can go in any order. You can multiply any integer you want first. Now the integers that don't have any sign means it is a positive integer. You can take it as the absolute value. So absolute value is same like the positive integer. So let's pair it up so that we can multiply. So suppose I am multiplying 7 and 9 first. 7, positive 7 and negative 9. So let me put them in the braces. 7 times negative 9. Now why I am putting it in curly braces? Because here we already have a round bracket. So I am using another bracket to show that I am multiplying now 7 and negative 9. Then simultaneously I can multiply 13 and negative 25, and then 16 and positive 8. Seven times 9 will give us 63, and positive and negative integer multiplied gives us a negative sign. So the result will be negative 63. Then multiplied by 13 times negative 25 will give us negative 325, and then 16 times 8 will give us 128. Now it is a positive sign, so the result will be a positive integer. So it will be 128. Now we can multiply these two integers. 63 multiplied by 325 will give us, now see both the signs are negative, means same sign, and when we have the same sign of the two integers that are being multiplied, the result is a positive integer. So 325 multiplied by 63 will give us 20,475 into 128. Now let's multiply this. So on multiplying this, we will get 26,20,800. Is that clear? Now you can multiply in any order. Any integer you want to multiply. You can multiply 7 times 13, but you have to show which two integers you are multiplying. You cannot just simply multiply and put the value here. It should be clear which two integers you are multiplying. Okay. Now let's learn about division of integers. First, we will see what happens when we divide integers that have the same sign. So what will happen when we divide two integers having the same sign? When we divide an integer by another integer of the same sign, the quotient is a positive integer. So like multiplication, here if we divide one integer by another integer, the result will be positive integer, like in multiplication. Now let's understand this with the help of an example. Let's take example 1. Let's divide positive 20 by positive 5. So here both the integers have the same sign. So what will we do? Like we did in the multiplication, here also we will find the absolute value. So positive 20, absolute value of positive 20, then absolute value of positive 5. And the result will be a positive integer. So we'll put a positive sign. Like I told you previously that we can exclude this step. We can directly place the absolute value of the integers. So here we can say the absolute value of positive 20 is 20 divided by absolute value of positive 5, that is 5. So 20 divided by 5 gives us 5 goes 4 times 20. So 4 will be positive 4. It will be equal to 4 simply. Yeah. Let's take a look at another example where both the integers are negative. So here we take negative 16 divided by negative 2. So here also we'll first find the absolute value of both the integers. So absolute value of negative 2. Then this will result in a positive integer like the definition said. So we'll put a positive sign. And then what is the absolute value of negative 16? 16. Absolute value of negative 2? 2. So 16 divided by 2 gives us 8. So 2 8s are 16. And then we'll simply put the positive sign here, which is equal to 8. So is it clear? So when we divide integers of same signs, the result is a positive integer, whether it be negative integers or positive integers. Now let's learn about division of integers having opposite signs. So what happens when we divide an integer, we divide two integers that have opposite signs? When an integer is divided by another integer of opposite sign, then the quotient is a negative integer. So what happens when we divide two integers having opposite signs? The result is a negative integer. Let's take a look at an example. So let's take positive 15 divided by negative 3. So here the two integers have opposite signs. So we know that the result will be a negative integer. So let's find the absolute value of positive 15 and then absolute value of negative 3. And we attach the negative sign, because when we divide two integers of opposite signs, the result is negative. So positive 15 will result in 15 divided by absolute value of negative 3 is 3. So it will be equal to 15 divided by 3, that is 5, and we'll put the negative sign. So this is the answer. Clear? Let's look at another example. So let's take negative 32 divided by positive 8. So here also the signs of the two integers are opposite. So we'll find the absolute value of 32 divided by the absolute value of positive 8. And it will result in a negative integer. So we'll put a negative sign. So what will be the absolute value of negative 32? 32 divided by absolute value of 8, positive 8 will be 8. So 82 divided by 8 will give us 4. And we'll just put the negative sign. So the answer will be negative 4. So I hope this is clear to you. Now before I conclude, let me tell you something about simplification of integers. So for simplification, we'll also apply the BODMAS rule that we know. BODMAS, in which B stands for the brackets, O stands for of, D stands for division, M stands for multiplication, A stands for addition, and S stands for subtraction. I hope you are well aware of this BODMAS rule. Let's take an example to simplify the integers. So here is an expression of integers that we need to simplify. So according to the simplification, according to the BODMAS rule, we have to first solve the brackets. Now here you see there are a lot of brackets. Now brackets may first we solve the line bracket or the vinculum that is given over here. This line or the bar indicates that we have to solve this operation first here. Then we'll proceed to round brackets. After we complete the round bracket, we'll move to the curly bracket or the braces. And after that, finally, we'll move to the square brackets. So let's proceed. Step by step, we'll just simply represent all the integers as they are. And the ones that we have to solve first, we'll solve them. So here within the braces we see we have to solve this vinculum. So 15 minus 3, that will give us 12. So we have solved the vinculum part, multiplied by 7 minus 4. And then now we have to solve the round bracket, that is 7 minus 4. So 121 divided by then 47, when the curly braces, 12 multiplied by 7 minus 4 will give us 3. So we have solved the round bracket. So now no need to place the round bracket. Simply place the braces and then the square bracket. For this, again we'll put all the expressions down. Now we'll solve the curly braces. Now what we have inside the curly braces? 12 times 3. That will give us 36. So we can remove the braces. Now we have the square brackets. So 121 divided by now 47 minus 36, that will give us 11. So now we don't need the square brackets, so the bracket part is over. Now we are just left with division. If there were multiplication, addition, you know the order, you can simply use that order. So 121 divided by 11 will give us 11. So 11 is the answer. So I hope this is clear to you. Let's recap. In multiplication, positive integer multiplied by another positive integer will give us a positive integer, whereas negative integer multiplied by a negative integer will also give us a positive integer. But when we multiply a positive integer by a negative integer, it will result in a negative integer. And when we multiply a negative integer by a positive integer, that will also result in a negative integer. Now in division, when we divide a positive integer by another positive integer, we will get a positive integer. When we divide negative integer by another negative integer, we'll get a positive integer. But when we divide a positive integer by a negative integer, we'll get a negative integer. And when we divide a negative integer by a positive integer, we'll get negative integer. So I hope the concept of multiplication and division is clear to you. Practice the questions. Stay safe. Keep smiling. And thank you.